toadies. Long time no see. It has been quite a week, and if I look like something the dog dragged in, it's because I am. I am. It has been kind of an up and down week. It took a couple days of full days of work for our furnace and air conditioner unit to be replaced, and boy, you really do appreciate the heat when you don't have it. Let me tell you. So that got done this week, and then I got a little bit under the weather, not COVID related, but I was under the weather and put on antibiotics. And so, you know, any of you that have ever taken antibiotics, they just kind of wipe me out. They just kind of wipe me out. But my week ended on a fabulous note because I had girlfriends come visit me, and it was a real gift. It was a real boost to the old stitchy morale. And interestingly enough, it kind of spurred me on to get some things done. So I'm going to share that with you. But a little bit of housekeeping. I never did hear from the winner of the $35 gift card to Fat Quarter Shop. So I redrew that random number generator, and the name will be at the end of this video. So hopefully I'll be contacted. And you know, these giveaways are such a generous offer by the people that pass them through me to you, but I really don't, I barely have time to get my own life in order and to chase someone down and to do research on how to find them. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So I just hope that when you do sign up for a giveaway that you do come back, that you're a subscriber, that you give a thumbs up, and yeah, I'd appreciate all of that. I really would. So this week ended on a high note. I am so grateful. And don't we all need a little bit of boost to the morale? I did get some things done. You know, there's nothing like when you see other people in a stitchy group or a quilt group working on projects that just kind of invigorates you into doing what's been laying around your sewing room forever. And that's what happened to me. So I ended up finishing up some little projects that were that I wanted to get done. Well, you know, it's not like they were nagging me. They're just piled all around. And but it does feel extremely good to accomplish something. Yes, accomplish something. So I had purchased this kit probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I did a demo for the Stitch and Post in Sisters, Oregon. And the Stitch and Post carried these kits. These are awesome little kits because you get 5 little you can make them either coasters, you can put them all together in a quilt, and it's an easy way to learn sashiko. And so these little sashiko kits, I did a demo at the shop, and I finally finished them into coasters. So here they are. And what I did was I just enveloped them with a little piece of batting. Aren't they just, they're so simple, but yet so beautiful. I like this one like this. And then I backed them all with some Asian fabric that I had. I love sashiko because It's one thread, and it's a running stitch. It's basically a running stitch. Your only objective in sashiko is to make the stitch length the same and the space in between the stitches the same. But that is, and again, this is the sashiko coaster kit that I got from the Stitching Post. A nice way to step in. So I had to prep. You know, it's coming up on the next month. So here's the Gnome of the Year for Buttermilk Basin, April. And so I prepped her. I got her all prepped. Isn't she adorable? Isn't that funny? Look at it. Looks like my head. She's cuter than me today, let me tell you. So now I just have to stitch. And I have a, of course I'll probably get this done before that, but in April I have a quilt retreat in Central Oregon, which I'm really looking forward to. Then my welcome mat, which goes on the big welcome home pillow that's on the bench in my entryway. This month was, April's will be the little chick and basket and eggs, and I have prepped that one. So I'm all ready to stitch that. And then, through the generosity of Fat Quarter Shop for that gift card, I finished my Dr. Seuss table runner. And I used the Atkins mini table runner. And it literally was maybe a 2-hour project. It's an awesome project. And you know, you can make, it's such an awesome pattern. And you can make it so easily seasonally. All you need, the easiest way to do it is a 5-inch charm pack, and we know we love those because you get a whole line of fabric, all complementary to each other by a designer, and just a 5-inch square of it. And then you just, this thing is just so easy. I mean, start to finish, maybe at the most 2.5+ hours, because you've already got the charm packs. You're just cutting those apart and then sewing them back together. And then because I didn't want to bind it, I enveloped it. So that means that what I did was I put the right sides together of the backing and my top, right sides together. Then I cut a piece of, I use fusible, Hobbs 80/20 fusible batting, and I laid that on the wrong side of the backing, and then I kind of lightly pressed it because it's fusible, and then I sewed all the way around, and then I turned it inside out, and then I went all the way around with a seam to hold it all together, and then I just quilted it with a crosshatch, and it's all done. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun for my 2 younger grandsons for their table. But now I just want, I have so many charm packs because you don't want to buy, you can't. I mean, maybe you could if you had like your own workshop that was 3,000 square feet or something. You could buy a whole line of fabric. But for most of us, you know, those charm packs or layer cakes are just a fun way to sample different lines of fabrics, and for holidays to make themed table runners for your table. I was really happy, and this pattern comes from the Fat Quarter Shop, plus the charm pack came from them also. I was really happy at how quickly this made up. and I'm going to be making more of them. In the, what do I want to call that? In the spirit of getting things done, I found this table runner that was all done and all quilted. It just needed a binding, so I have to tack the binding down, and I'm taking it on retreat, so I'll do it there as some handwork to do. But this is the, and this was done with the charm pack too. So this table runner, so what I did today was I attached the binding, and then when I'm at retreat I'll tack it down. But isn't that cute? And see, that's what I mean about buying a charm pack or a layer cake, is that you get this whole line of this particular line of fabrics, which, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. You probably all are screaming it at me. But I get to experience the whole line without having 10 or 15 bolts of fabric. Isn't that cute? So I'll have that to tack down. Yes, I've been a busy little bee. My next endeavor is to create the binding for this little quilt, this little mini tumbler that I did. I found this in a stack that needed to get done. You know, see, this is how small these tumbler blocks are. They're just tiny. And I just have to make the binding and put that on, and so I'll have that to tack down. Yeah, it's there's a sense of pride or satisfaction with accomplishing some older things that have been laying around. I got enabled by Lisa, who is Kindred Stitchers on FlossTube, and this is a Blackbird design book by Barb Adams and Alma Allen, who, this is a re-release, and I ordered it through the Fat Quarter Shop. They have copies of it, and it is a quilt book called In Full Bloom. And the reason I got this is, you know, I do love needle turn applique, as you will see here in a minute. I do love needle turn applique, and a lot of these quilts are a needle turn applique, but you can use different techniques to do them. But I just loved also that there were some wool projects in there. Isn't that really sweet? And any needle turn applique project can become a wool project, so that's what I'm saying. So it's In Full Bloom and at the Fat Quarter Shop. I found this block, which I really want to finish into a pillow for my ocean theme room, the playroom. And it's a needle turn applique project. It's what's called, you can tell that I kind of like everything. There's no one genre that I am totally focused on. It's true that I love wool, I love primitive, but I am kind of all over the board. And needle turn applique has always been something that I have enjoyed. And I found, it took me a while to hunt where this project was, but it is on the scope, if you will, of Hawaiian applique. If you're familiar with Hawaiian applique, it is like, you know, like when you fold those papers and you cut the snowflake out and then you unfold it and it's all, that's kind of Hawaiian applique, is these beautiful designs where the design in one corner is mirrored on the other corner, and all the way around. And they make full-size bed quilts with these designs, and they are gorgeous. This particular one I fell in love with. And I am actually, I have about a third of it done. Maybe a little, oh, well, for sure I have a fourth. Now maybe a third. I just loved it. You know how I am about Octopus. So here it is. I'm very excited about this block. I am definitely going to get this done. I'm taking this to retreat with me, and I'm going to be needle turning. And there's several ways to do needle turn. I tend to be a traditionalist in that way, in terms of that I have a toothpick in my mouth, one of those rolling round circular type of toothpick, and I just needle turn with sharp needle and silk thread. And so I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to make it into a big pillow, decorative pillow for my guest room. I can hear some of you think, what is she? Is she just like all over the board? Oh yeah. And then I posted a picture on social media where I showed a bit of my knitting. Although my girlfriend says I'm a knitter, I can't say I'm a knitter yet, but I have dreams of knitting. And my father-in-law used to knit and crochet, and so I keep thinking that I should be able to do that. And I had started a knitting project a long time ago. I mean, you're talking, oh, what did the little receipt in the bag say, 2003? And so my girlfriend was giving me a lesson in knitting, and so I knitting this one project. And although I'm not a great knitter, I'm not even, in my mind, she says I'm a knitter, but in my mind, I am not a knitter yet. I do like it. I like the feel of the yarn. And she is so darn supportive and so kind in her encouragement. I mean, she's the kind of person that you want to be your kindergarten teacher, you know. So I'm her kindergarten knitting student, and so I started doing some knitting this weekend since she was here. I received a wonderful, wonderful gift, and from Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karen. It is some beautiful fabrics. I'll have to show them to you. Now, I have seen this bee fabric. Is that not gorgeous? They're a little bit bigger than would fit on my hexie, but I am definitely going to be doing something with those. And she said I could make pillowcases or whatever. This is, it's so soft. And here it is in a different colorway. Karen, you spoiled me. This one, I mean, the bees look realistic, you know, which I just love. And definitely going to use this on a cuff or a pillowcase. Yeah. Yeah, because I'll be able to do that. And it's flannel, so it's got all kinds of bugs. Don't you think my grandson will just love that? Praying mantis. A praying mantis. That is so cute. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate it. I had a surprising moment. Oh, before I go ahead with that, I have to show you this thing that my girlfriend Robin made for me. She's quite the artist, and we talk fairly regularly, really early in the morning. We're both early risers, so we'll FaceTime early in the morning, and my phone will keep, I'm trying to prop my phone up so I can stitch while I'm talking to her. Well, she made these ceramic, isn't that gorgeous? Ceramic phone holders. So the phone, so clever. I mean, it's so clever. So the phone, when the thing's on the table, the phone sits like that. That was a sweet surprise gift. I just loved it. I do love it, and it's going to be in the beehive. So this week I had a beautifully surprising moment. I was, my daughter-in-law, my older daughter-in-law was coming over to make some fabric selections because we originally were going to be taking a Tuffet class together. It was going to be one of my first in-person classes that I've taken, in 2 years? 2 years? And my friend Sheila Snyder Sinclair is the instructor. And I've made 2 Tuffets before with her class, and if you ever get the opportunity to take a class with her, do not pass it up. She's an excellent teacher, both quilting and these Tuffets, and just a very, very nice person. So when I texted her and I said, when are you going to do another Tuffet class? Because my older daughter-in-law wants to have 2 Tuffets in her house. And she said, well, it turned out that a guild that is, maybe an hour and a half away from me, maybe about an hour and a half away from me, is going to have a Tuffet class that she's teaching. And so she contacted them and asked them if they would allow a guest to come, and that was yes, thank goodness. And so I signed up to take a Tuffet class. I was hoping to take it with my daughter-in-law, but it turned out there was a date discrepancy from the information we first got, so she couldn't get off work. So I'll be making them both myself. But if you don't know what a Tuffet is, I know many of you do know, but if you don't know, this is a Tuffet right here. It's a footstool. This is my Tuffet that I made for myself. So it's a footstool, it's got legs, it's a piece of furniture. But you have to sew all those strips together, And so I made this Tuffet for me, for my ode to France, because I have quite an affinity for that country. And then I made a Tula Pink Tuffet for my younger daughter-in-law. Well, when my older daughter-in-law came over and was looking at fabric, I was asking her, first we have to start, it's like a quilt. First you have to start with what fabrics you like. You want to start with what you want in your home, the decor. And she said, I want warm. And so I have such a wide variety of fabrics in my stash. I was shocked. Because she was totally drawn to my whole hoarding pile of Civil War fabrics. It was so exciting because I love Civil War fabrics. They are, they're back to that period of time where quilts were made with clothing and nothing was matched. There was no, it was utilitarian. And I used to spend time with a couple friends doing Civil War blocks, and quilts, so I had quite a stash of Civil War fabrics. And the fact that she wanted her tuffets made out of Civil War fabrics, I was like ecstatic. So we started pulling out all the variety of colors, and I was then the next day I cut all the fabrics up in 2.5-inch strips, because that's what you need for the tuffet. It's so exciting. So then she saw this quilt. Remember this gigantic quilt? The tumbling block quilt. And I said, you know, this was all these were all pre-cut out by Primitive Gatherings and sold in a big bag kit, and then you just put it together the way you want. And there's no real sense of perfect when it comes to a utilitarian type quilt, you know, and it's just a matter of laying the fabrics out and start sewing the strips together. Well, I said, do you want this quilt then for your house? Because I'm starting to tack the binding down, and we can, you know, I can finish it, and then when you have the tuffets, you'll have this tie-in to this quilt, maybe on your couch or something. And she said, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. It changed my whole, I mean, my heart just leaped. Because I was dragging my feet. I had been slowly tacking the binding down, but not really motivated. But now that I know who it's going to, it's like I'm very, very motivated. So I've been tacking like crazy. This thing is huge. And that brought me to this aha moment that I love quilting. I love the you know, the construction, the choosing of the fabric, the construction, the making. But at my age, unless I'm making something specific for my bed, or I really want to make my quilts for different family members and friends. So I thought my quilting is going to, I don't want to stop quilting. Like some people say, I'm not shopping for fabric anymore because I have way too much fabric. Well, maybe that is an opportunity to create something that will bring someone else pleasure. So that's where I am right now. And now I can't seem to put this thing down. I want to keep binding it to get it done. Yeah. Well, that's just about, it's just about it. I have that little quilt binding to do today, and then I'm going to kind of make a pile of what I want to take to retreat. Retreat's not till towards the end of the third week of April, so it'll I'll have a lot of time, a lot of time to get things done. But I am like very excited. I hope you guys are excited about your quilting. I mean, there has to be things in our lives that make our heart go pitter-patter. Make our heart go pitter-patter. Well, thank you very much. The name of the winner will be at the end of this video. You all get out there and sew. The sun is starting to come out for bits of periods of time, so it's like, let's get out and walk and enjoy nature and be kind. Love you guys.